Well, I think that it's the challenge with chatbots today is that people want to use Gen AI as the chatbot, and the problem is that there's no way to guarantee that the result you're getting is correct. And so, I invented this technology to help people who are training their own models. So, people doing recommendation systems, people doing ad tech, people doing medical diagnosis, people doing finance, people doing chatbots. Look, Aardvark was a chatbot. Right? We
Yeah,
trained a chatbot to do things. But if
yeah,
you're not training your own models, if
yeah,
you're just using off the shelf Gen AI,
yeah,
you gotta, it's, you get what you get. It's
right.
going to do what it does, and you're stuck with trying to figure out what the prompts are. And I think that a lot of the challenge is you're trying, where I'm working on is for people who are trying to train a model to do something very specific. You have maybe a recommender with a RAG system, and then you have a little model right on top of it that's trying to learn from the user interaction, and that's where the Weight Watcher technology comes in. Generally speaking, though, in dealing with chatbots, you're dealing with the fact that you've got to try to figure out some way to validate that the result is correct, that you're
Yeah,
getting out what you want. And that's usually requires some custom engineering or something to is this really what we think it is? Like, is the result actually the right result? Can you match it to something can you match the result to something in, a database? Or did you build a RAG system and is the RAG system working correctly? People think RAG is like this magic box, but it's not. It's not. You have to check it to see, like, how do you build check systems to see whether RAG is actually delivering. It could pull out anything. The it's not a magic box where you just stuff stuff in. And I think that's, working with clients. Sometimes you have to come up with custom solutions to figure out what they're doing because these solutions don't exist yet in the market. So
yeah,
an example would be there are cases where you might have five different chat windows. You submit the request to the LLM five different ways, you get five different results, and then you compare the results to see how much they deviate. And then
yeah,
over time, because usually the chatbot has some context that you're keeping over time, and not just a single instance, but there's like a thread where you go through. So it's very much you're trying to figure out the intent of what the user is talking about, and you're trying to reverse that intent by looking at the responses, and you want to make sure that the LLM doesn't go way off here. So you have five, and you might want to pick what is the best response automatically,
yeah,
making sure that it doesn't diverge widely from what was done before. So that would be the kind of solution you would give in that. And I've helped design some systems like that where you're just trying to maintain the context of the user, because what happens is people don't really explain what they want. You have to
yeah,
infer it. And as
right.
you're trying to infer what they want, you have to make sure you don't go off the rails.